for joining us. We are the BLERD official podcast, and we are so happy that you are here. Let me introduce my co-host, Mr. BLERDCon himself, Mr. Hilton George.
What's up, family? How y'all doing?
Good to see you.
Everyone.
Everybody's you didn't get the yellow memo. I know, I was like, you didn't.
I didn't get the email. Y'all
Total
don't email
mistake.
Nobody. I don't got no
mistake.
Yellow either.
It's telepathy, honey. We got telepathy. It's called, we got.
I had that once. I got to get my ointment, so I don't have no more telepathy on my arm. That telepathy child. I've been getting.
Yeah, we dressed alike for like 5 years of our life. So
it's kind of built in. It's built into the DNA now.
Yes, and so my crush girl, my sister from another mister, Miss Christi Renee. How are you, Diva?
Wonderful. Another glorious day at the BOP. And so I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be here. Let's see what you got for us today.
I know. You know what? I gave you guys some homework. Because I started watching this show. I actually started watching it because Hilton said you need to watch it. And I was like, okay, I will. And so I'd only seen like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but guys, one of my favorite shows right now is Peacemaker. Who knew? Yes. I want to learn the dance.
The dance is a mess, child. It is so funny.
And you know how you skip the credit or you skip the opening? Like it allows you to. I watch it every single time. I don't even skip it. Like, I want to see this dance. I want to see everybody join in. Yeah.
I think that's why you watch it. I don't think it's about the show. I just think it's strictly about the dance.
It could be. I mean, this was a surprise to me. I can't even say surprise. That's how surprised I was. I can't even pronounce the word. It was such a surprise to me. It was not anything on my radar. It was nothing I would ever go, yeah, I'm going to go watch. Who knew John Cena was so comedically funny? I had no clue. So if you haven't watched this, we're going to talk about it. So turn off, unplug, don't watch it. But guys, oh my gosh, it's been out for a while now, so we shouldn't be spoiling it for anyone. But Nobody should be surprised. Right. He is like the silent sleeper. Like he is so funny. And the cast, the supporting cast, everyone, again, it all goes down to casting. I think when you have someone who's put in a role and doesn't fit an ensemble cast such as this, every piece has to make sense. Everybody has to make sense. But okay, I'm going to let Hilton start talking first, only because he's seen this before I had seen it. And I was like, I'd watched the first 2 episodes and I was like cracking up, and it was so raunchy and so violent. And I was like, where are they going with this? But I'm loving it. I can't take my eyes off it. The raunchiness didn't get to me. I kind of like my rap music and my TV shows the same way. I kind of like it the same way. I kind of want to be offended. I want to be offended at times. So I was definitely offended at times, but in such a wonderful way. Hilton, give us just an overview thought of Peacemaker.
I got to say that I was surprised by how much I like this. This character, Peacemaker, was a creation of one of my favorite comic book artists, John Byrne. Long ago, his venture into the DC universe. And some of the other characters from the movie in which he made his first small or large screen debut was the second Suicide Squad. And this show picks right up at the end of the movie. I mean, literally, no time spent, no time lost.
I love that.
If you watch the movie, which you should, it's not a prequel, but you really should watch the movie to get a sense of his evolution into this character. And by the way, Suicide Squad was a very good DC movie for a lot of the reasons that we always agree on. DC does better when it goes dark. It's just gory and just apocalyptic, and just like everyone's just bad and just degrees of bad, trying to do good, everything like that. So the series comes in. You got a guy named John Cena, who everybody knows from the World Wrestling world. And I've seen him in a lot of stuff. I mean, I've seen him, he's got a personality. He's really got a good brand. Kudos to his agent and his marketing team.
Yes.
But I had not seen him take on a role that was better fit to his personality and his physicality and just the brand in which he has to play this character and just own it. And they go, I mean, first of all, this is James Gunn. So James Gunn, if you don't know, was the guy who did the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Amazing.
You know, he's kind of got that ensemble thing down. He also did, obviously, the Suicide Squad. So you kind of get a sense of the way he likes his actors to banter, the language. He's very irreverent. He loves to kill people. He loves to see things die and make it funny. And this show does all of that. And John Cena, he gets to do a lot of ad-libbing. He gets to do a lot of, character insertion. He's telling his own story. He's living this character. You will believe it's him. And it's just a really, really, really good series. And it's it's a lot to take in, just for all the reasons Karen said. You know, if you're not ready to take a really big bite of your apple, this one might seem a little overwhelming at first, but stick with it.
I know, Christy.
You get in that. Once you get past that second episode and the characters start to really kind of grow on you, the story starts to take off. And I mean, there's some amazing cameos in this show. There's some amazing acting happening in the show. Some really great fight choreography, special effects, and I mean, probably one of the singular best television show intros in television history.
Period.
People just cannot get enough of. And Karen is one of them. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Yeah. And this is the thing. This is what I will say to people. Now, obviously, for the last 10, 15 years, we've been in love with Marvel. We've been in love with the fact that they do these wonderful movies, now wonderful television shows. And these shows, honestly, are for any age. A little kid can watch it to an adult. Peacemaker is not that show. Peacemaker is like James Gunn with no rules. Like, it's like they let him go and like create, like you said, an ensemble cast, really funny, but there's no limit. Like, you can be just as violent as you want to be. You can be as raunchy as you want to be. You can be as funny as you want to be, but it has all of those qualities. So like you said, if you liked, Guardians of the Galaxy, if you like those kind of, ensemble cast, kind of like a bunch of heroes running around trying to save the world, this is it. But this is for adults. That's why it's on HBO Max. It's on HBO Max for a reason. Otherwise, it would be on, one of the streaming services. Yeah, it would be on
the WB.
It would be on the WB with all the other DC WB shows or whatever. But I was so pleasantly surprised. And if you're not offended by raunchy jokes and that kind of thing, it is really well written. It's a really good journey to see this character, Peacemaker, and the people that are around him. And you really get a lot of the cool thing about the television series. You get a lot of the backstory. It isn't all forced to you like in a movie where you got to get all the behind the scenes, get all the story. They give you a little at a time in every episode. You really understand why he is this, almost buffoonish, tragic hero, who wants to do well, but just can't seem to it's like he can't not be an asshole. He can't not be, he can't shake some of the rough edges that
he tried so hard not to say that word. She was looking for another word, but didn't say it any other way.
All that fits.
The only word that works is asshole, or they even use a different word to describe him. But it's like, but I think that's kind of like why I loved him so much. I always like characters who are multi-layered, complex, and surprising. Like I thought, John Cena was funny when he did the movie with Amy Schumer, because obviously working with her and Trainwreck and being opposite of a comedian, you got to be on a certain level,
and with Will Ferrell. I mean, I knew he was funny even with Daddy's Home too, I think it is.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was funny to where he could be the lead,
right,
and carry a television series. 8 episodes carried that series, and everyone else was there to, obviously there are many standouts in it. We'll dive deep into those, but they followed his lead. He set the tone for this TV show, and I loved it. And I know Christi is like,
I'm brand new. Okay, so listen.
We dragged her into the nerddom. We are dragging her.
So I'm brand new. I'm still a baby in this whole experience. And let me just say this. It's not that I clutched my pearls the whole way through. It's just, and I think, and I'm not even anywhere near the whole way through, but I'm familiarized now. So like, I get it. I get the story. And first of all, if you raised by a daddy with a mullet, you're going to be an asshole.
It's a given.
That's a given. That's built into your DNA. So I mean, his daddy is horrible. I get that's where the heartstrings come in. So I always appreciate those kinds of backstories when you give us those hints here along the way as to why. So we have talked about this before, how somebody becomes who they become. So a
good story will give you it. It'll tell you.
And anything that will kind of make me cry. Like, I'm like, oh Lord, with the little brother and that whole thing, that's sad. It's terrifying. And then kids, I have a special place when kids are mistreated in any kind of way in a film. Lord, I lose it. I'm a crybaby. But I'm gonna tell y'all, the funny thing is I have reserved, I guess, my raunchy, stuff that comes from comic books. And when I brought the kids up a certain way, like they were infused in Disney for ages, as long as I could keep them in it, I kept them in it.
For sure.
And I'm gonna tell you, the greatest payback is when your teenager turns to you and says one day on the phone or when we're out somewhere when he's like 19 and says, I understand now why, Mom, you kept us in like Disney universe forever. He said, because some things do go too far, and I get it. It's more money if you can bring the whole family. Because that was always my argument. Like, why do they do this? Why did they put like going to see Hancock? That was one of our first experiences. I was like, oh, this is not for the children. So this is definitely that movie. I'm the mama here, so I have to tell the mamas out there, child, that this is not, Peacemaker is not for the kids.
It's on HBO. That should tell you.
Right. Well, we got a lot of stuff that's on HBO. I'm just saying it is.
It's rated R for a reason, and they give you they say with sexual contact, language.
They're gonna let you know.
They warn you.
Just do exactly, and just do your due diligence and know that even though this was from comic book land, do not get it twisted. But what's funny is I know in my mind I had always reserved my one special spot for Deadpool because I'm a diehard Deadpool. So I kind of liken this to, it has that raunchy, hilariousness about it, but I like him funny.
I'm surprised.
And
I thought you were gonna hate it.
No, I do. I like him, and I think it's certain relationships. And again, when I see a familiar face, I'm always like, ow, because I'm always putting dots together. So I love Danielle Brooks. I love their energy, their synergy together. I think that is because, again, we live in a society where you think somebody has to look a certain way. So if we were to compare and contrast something else we've already talked about, like if we were looking at the new Batman, for instance, then you look at Zoe Kravitz, and now we're going to take another Black lead woman, and I look at Dan, they're starkly different, I guess. And I love that she's put into this realm where we would typically maybe put someone else, again, society would put somebody else to be parallel to this big old white dude.
Well, if you think about it, the way they put her, the way they placed her, you think about it. And again, there's nothing to be spoiled. Sure, the series been for 2 weeks, but you have a dark skin, plus size, gay married character, over top of a semi-white supremacist, at least raised,
cisgendered,
asshole, cisgender white male superhero who's always stepping on his own tongue. who just
Yeah.
can't say the right thing, who doesn't even try to be correct.
Crazy.
And, and so that dynamic in and of itself is just, I mean, that's Mentos and Diet Coke already. Just right on top of each other.
But it's beautiful. It's like destructively beautiful. But I think that, again, clearly she compliments all his shortcomings, and then that whole clique and everything seems
but
to
I think
compliment her
that's
journey
what was beautiful about it. Like, I love that's what James Gunn kind of does. Like, he kind of cast, or that whole team, they always pick people that you wouldn't, because it's almost like, let's pick the good actor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who it is. If she's the best actress for this part, then she needs to do it. And I was a huge Danielle Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it works.
Yeah. And
their oddities just complement each other. It's wonderful.
And it's one of those things, because I was a huge fan of hers from Orange is the New Black. And I've seen her on Broadway, and I mean, she's really a good actress. And so I feel like I'm so glad they gave her the chance to play that character. And like you said, it was the perfect combination of these two who are like, in the beginning, they're at odds because they're so different. But as the story progresses and as they progress as characters and as they take their journey, they find themselves being very close. And it's the whole cast does that. They find the importance of everyone. But I loved in the beginning, like one of the very first episodes, when she calls her mom, and her mom is Viola Davis. And she calls her and she goes, I don't know. He just seems sad. Like, she, in the beginning, even though she knew he was an ass and she's all this, like you said, he could never say the right thing. He offended all of them and they all hated him. And they all were like, why are we being, put to help this guy? Or why are we working with him? Why is this our team? They all questioned each other. Like, why are you here? Why are you in this team? She saw a glimpse of his goodness, and she saw a glimpse of, that there was something there to him. And again, it's the writing. I just felt like it was so well put together. And I really love the political undertones. Like you said, his dad was a white supremacist. Like, he comes from the worst human being in the world, the worst. And where you think you're going to be offended, you are offended, but yet you realize, like, they don't sugarcoat any of this stuff. Like, this is like, how many people, I think, when all the 2 years ago or a year ago, when all the Black Lives Matter stuff was happening, and we saw the George Floyd stuff, and I think that was a reckoning. Like, that was a reckoning with a lot of people,
right?
And a lot of people looked at their grandpa and looked at their granddad or looked at their parents and realized they think completely different from them. And they go, I had a lot of friends who were like, I didn't realize that my family potentially were racist, or that they were just like white privileged, or they were, offensive. Like, they didn't realize how offensive that stuff could be.
We got real life superheroes right now today that are still reporting they people for the January 6th insurrection last year. It's the families. It's these younger, we want to talk about these millennials, whatever the term is today.
Yeah.
Like, they the ones talking about, I got the footage, I got the text messages, I got here it is, here they go get them. And the FBI is running right after. So yes, some people had a lot of awakening. Yeah.
And I like the way that they let the Peacemaker character, he was so conflicted because that's his father. He wanted to find something in his father to love him. And I love that he would go, but he makes me things. He makes me things, and he couldn't, like, the whole series was just like trying to find something to love and almost redeem his father, even though he knew his father was the devil. Right.
True.
And the thing that remember is that this is not just about, again, this is the parallel between, Danielle Brooks' character and John Cena's character, because he is trying to resolve issues and follow the lead and be worthy to his father. But, you got to remember, Danielle Brooks' character's mother is Amanda Waller, who's like probably like the most evil government bureaucrat in the DC universe. If you watch either of the two Suicide Squad movies, like you can see just how ruthless she is, and even in the comics, she's even more ruthless. So you see her as the daughter trying to kind of live up to her mother's expectations in a lot of the same way. So these journeys are happening parallel, and they're not even intertwining. Like she doesn't know that he's struggling with his dad, and he doesn't know she's struggling with his mom because they didn't know. And you kind of, as us as the audience, we're like seeing this evolution that ultimately brings them, you know, somewhat together. And, you know, this just really, really good storytelling. I would say, and I'm going to say this, and this show is 10 times better than it needed to be in order to be successful. They did not have to bring in James Gunn. They did not have to get an all-star cast. They did not have to bring in a star writing team. They did not have to do all of those things that just made this so worthy of this conversation that we're having in order for it to do its job, which is continue the storyline between, Suicide Squad movies. Because, you know, there's a 3 coming up. So, you know, they're taking a little vignette, you know, and they're putting it on a pay-per-view channel that people, you know, like in a cable channel. You know, the ratings and everything are great. They could have done this with half the effort and half the budget. It wouldn't have been as good, but people would have been like, you know, whatever, and they would have watched. But to do it this well, you know, means to me that DC is trying to take new steps and lean in to this new direction of being darker, being a little bit more on that edge. And this is, forget about anything else. This is actually a very dark story. It's got a lot of violence. And people die horribly in this show. Like, people are just getting blown up. And bugs crawling down their throats and people's heads getting shot off and machete to death. You're just like, whoa.
Says the guy with 2 swords in the backdrop.
Hey, this is Home Protection.
You're hilarious.
This is my message to the thieves and robbers of the world. You know, you come in, you're gonna get these katanas. That's all I'm saying.
I got something for you. I got something for you.
I have 2 things. The fact that they bring the racism undertones into this, and which is so, again, relevant to real life. It's part of history. It's part of today, and it'll be part of tomorrow. That makes it dark. That's a dark. There's nothing happy about none of that shit. So, but also I'm gonna say this. What I want for them to get this right, I love Suicide Squad. I'm gonna tell you the 2 things I don't like about either one of those films. I don't like the animals. I don't like the shark, and I don't like the alligator thing, whatever it was. That is so unrealistic. It's the most ridiculous thing.
What do you mean?
I don't like it. I felt like every other character made sense to me. Hell, even the fire kid.
Like, you know, take it out. Even though it's been in the comics, take it out.
Listen, the acting.
Shark is a shark.
I'm tired.
That's who he is. That's a character.
Well, here's the thing. And he might have acted better than the alligator man or whatever he was in the first one. I know this is terrible.
Killer Croc.
Okay, whatever. Y'all talking to me now. You know, I talk like the people do.
Alligator man and the shark guy.
And the shark boy. Listen. Every time he talked in the first movie, I was like, no. And I'm gonna tell you, that's the main reason why I really didn't get into the second one at all. I mean, I liked everybody else, as flamboyant and as extreme as they were. Those were the 2 characters. I'm like, just take them off.
You know what though? You're not wrong. There are a lot of people who share your opinion on this, because the first one, the first movie was sort of like, you know, first of all, it was all B characters. You know, it really wasn't, you know, the all-star DC movie fodder. So it's people like, I don't really see anyone other than Harley Quinn on the screen that I recognize.
Right.
I don't think Will Smith did his best work, you know, in the first one.
It wasn't.
The second one overdone. Is so much better.
Trying too hard.
To the point where you almost don't even need to have the first one. Like if you see the second one and didn't see the first one, fine. You know, I think the second one did such a better job of taking the B characters and giving them real stories instead of just throwing them up on screen. And see, this is another thing that comic book heads will agree on. DC does better television series when
Yeah,
they're
they
using
do.
B characters, because they can you can throw a Peacemaker out there and just be wild and crazy, because there's not this huge legacy and this huge brand like a Batman or a Superman that you kind of have to protect. You know, because if you screw up a series with Superman on it, you might mess up $1 billion movie down the road. There's not going to be a Peacemaker movie, at least as far as we can tell. So they can really go all out. They're like, James Gunn, he killed 30 people in the first episode. They're like, oh, that's fine. Let him do it. You know,
Right.
Because it's like, there's no one here we really have to be invested in. So I think they kind of take the gloves off and do better work. And I think you see this in the second Suicide Squad more so than the first. So if you haven't seen the second, I think you'll agree that one is better than the other, even if you know talking sharks and talking crocodiles are not your thing. But it does carries all the way over into this series, and you just see like Vigilante. I forgot the comic book head.
Yes!
I forgot that Vigilante actually had his own comic, and I had the comic, and I was like,
hilarious.
Someone showed me the cover, like, yeah, this Vigilante. I was like, holy shit, I had that comic. I remember that character.
My God.
And it just blew right by me when he showed up on the screen. I didn't even make the connection that, again, they're just taking their B characters, their C characters, throwing them on the screen, and they're having fun.
I know what it was.
It looks like they're having more fun making it than we had watching it. And that's one of the things that carries through the screen and makes me love it.
Yeah.
I would have been okay if it wasn't bad. It's such bad. And I really am going to attribute this to the writing instead of the actor. But that dang crocodile man was, yo, I need my BET, yo, fool. I was like, who wrote this crap? I was furious. So I was offended, I think more so than anything. All right, that's all I got to say about that. So if they don't do that in part 2, then I'm okay.
Again, it's about like, I think with this particular project, it was about like the only one who was really like the only two people who were really like a character was almost Peacemaker and Vigilante.
Okay.
The rest of them were very subtle, but they carried their performance like they were intentional with everything that they did, you know, and I feel like that has always been, like you said, like DC always seems to do these TV shows way better than they do the movies.
Clearly.
But it's almost like they, with the movies, they do like two things that I think they always get wrong. They always have actors who try way too hard to create a character, you know. It's like that's what Will Smith kind of did, and a lot of these, it's like it's too much, and there's no subtlety. And I think that's kind of what I love so much about the Batman, was that everybody was so subtle but so powerful and so intentional with their performance that you got more because there was more room to see like the evolution of what they were doing within, you know, they didn't do everything in one scene. They did a little bit of this in this scene and they did a little bit of that. But when you put it together as a body of work, it just was magic, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like, you know, the other thing that I feel DC always kind of does wrong is that they overthink all these movies. Like they overthink the plot lines and they overthink. And then, you know, when they do simplify it, it's usually it's almost like a dumb decision. Like, you know, it's almost like, you know, like
it's offensive. It's like offends your intelligence. Like it's like, wait a minute now.
I'll just never forget when they had, you know, obviously like, you know, Superman, and they had, you know, Ben Affleck Batman, and they were like, oh, your mother was named your mother, like they, like that was the whole twist of the movie, that their mothers had the same name, and like it was just so like
they ran out of ideas.
But it was one of those things where it was like, we've got there's 80, probably a million writers, they got all the money in the world to spend on these movies, and they just like, that was what you came up with, that's what the final decision became. But like in Peacemaker, it's almost like they didn't care about this. like he's running around with like almost like oven mitt gloves, and they're just out. It's like almost felt like they were outside having fun. Like there was no rules.
Time.
We can say all the bad words. We can offend. And we can, you know, inspire. But it was like it
to the
all
street,
worked.
like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like the summer days.
And I think that's the thing that DC really, like you said, they have to lean into the more darker, the more violent, because they got that right. they've got the characters to carry that. Like they've got the comic book, you know, they've got the foundation to make that their lane, and it doesn't conflict with anything that Marvel or anyone else is doing, you know?
Right.
But I mean, what do you think, Hilton? Because that was one of the reasons why I loved it, was because it just felt, like you said, it just felt like they were having fun. And it didn't feel like, so overthought or overproduced.
Yeah, James Gunn, if you ever get a chance to see, and there's vignettes everywhere where you can kind of get to see behind the scenes of how he directs. There's the script and then there's the shot. So, you know, they'll do something that's according to the script that's written out, where so-and-so walks in, says ABC to one person, that person throws a vase, bop, 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 boom. All right, boom, got the scene. And then he'll do like 3 takes. And he said, look, I want you to go back outside that door, and I want you to think about what you would do if you walked in and caught this person doing something you didn't like. How would you throw the vase? What would you say different? And just go for it. Forget the script. Just run through the scene. I just want you to start at A and end up at B, and we'll capture everything in between. So you see some of these scenes in the show where they're just kind of riffing, you know, where you can tell that, the scene where, okay, so again, spoiler alert. There's a scene
There's no more spoilers.
Just do it. Where,
this has been out.
The tech guy, who he calls Diebeard, who frames
one
his
of my
father
favorite characters
for his own, in order to get Peacemaker off the radar of the cops, so they can continue the mission. And the joke is, there's literally a million other people that you could have chosen to frame for, Peacemaker. Why would you do that to his father?
Why would him? Like, he's so close.
But you chose his father. And the guy is like, oh, well, I couldn't think anyone else. So John Cena's, Peacemaker just starts rambling off all of these just random
That's
people.
hysterical.
I mean, I think he goes from like strawberry shortcake to,
the Muppets in the thing. Ariana
Grande.
Ariana Grande. Jackson. Tito Jackson.
Anybody.
He goes through all the Jacksons. He's like, all the people can, and you can tell they just let him go. It's like a minute and a half of him screaming across the table any names that he can think of that could have been used to frame someone else for this crime so they could move on, instead of his own father that he now has to go and help get out. So it's like scenes like that, which you can almost feel the cast is having more fun shooting it than we are watching it. And it kind of allows for that buy-in. And again, it is that button down approach that the director is taking. And, again, you can feel it. There's no big corporate representative on set saying, well, Superman would never say that, so we're going to strike that from your script.
Right.
Oh, you can't do that. They're just like, this is a series of a bunch of characters that we don't have any plans for, we don't care about. To be perfectly honest, this is part of Jim Gunn's kind of redemption arc. He got in a lot of trouble for some tweets that he did back in like 2001 or before Twitter. It was a long time ago, but it came back and it kind of got him knocked off of Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was really out of favor with Hollywood for about 3 to 5 years. So coming back on this project again, just calling James Gunn to do it and is enough of a signal that
somebody
DC is
over
like,
there, right?
Yeah, they're like, let's roll the dice with him. We can't lose.
He can't. Yeah, nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
Once John Cena signed
we all got something to prove.
we ran.
Listen,
so yeah, I mean, they really did a great job with this. And the thing that I want people to remember is that they're up to something over at DC.
Yeah, they are.
They're up to something. They are weaving in. You see way too many opportunities for them to screw things up, and they're getting it right. And it's all, I think the delineation is the Snyderverse cut of Justice League, where they saw the fans' reaction to 2 very different movies. And for anyone out here who's only seen one or the other, you have to watch the Snyderverse. And yes, it's 3 hours long.
I was in the 18-hour version.
But it's so much better. It's so much better. And so much.
And you'll be so mad. You'll be so mad that so much important things were left out. And you're like, you'll go, what was that guy thinking? Like, they gave us a mediocre movie when there was a brilliant movie shot. You know, it was shocking. And then we find out that guy is an asshole and he needs to be canceled. And, you know, there was a reason he needed to, you know, but it's one of those things, like he's treating people bad on set. There's this whole thing that was happening.
It's Joss Whedon.
Yeah, exactly. But needless to say, you're absolutely right. Like they're up to something. And I have to admit, I am the first person to talk shit about DC. And I'm sorry. I hope one day they hire me. I hope I haven't ruined
At which point all
myself.
of our reviews for DC movies will be
excellent.
Subjective.
Well, no, but this is the thing. I think they know. They know when they've got it right, and they know when they've gotten it way wrong.
Yeah.
And they know I think they've realized the mistakes that they're making. But I will say, I am so excited for the first time in like 15 years, 20 years. I'm actually excited to see what they're going to come up with.
Yeah.
And I always love when they make a character I could care less about and they make me fall in love with them. Like they literally, who would have thought Peacemaker would get a whole TV series? Like I could have cared less. And I care so much. Like,
I was so skeptical. I was like, really? Like he was funny in the movie, but can he carry like 8 episodes on him? Like,
and it goes back to like one of the other shows we did where you're like, does every character need to have their own series or their own movie? Like that's a good question to ask. But with these television series, it's possible. It's
you can
good
develop
writing.
them.
Yeah,
you can develop,
it's possible.
That's when you create. That's when you start to have relationships with these characters and the stories. Is when you have that longer time, I guess. It would be crazy if Peacemaker just had a movie. Like we can't connect. I don't have time to. I barely could get with y'all on Suicide Squad. And
it don't cost $70 to watch a TV show.
I mean, listen.
Christy and her family, when they go to the movies, I felt terrible because I didn't think about that. I went by myself.
I had to sleep with one eye open in this house if I had gone to see that movie without
your kids.
So I want to say that I feel like when you were describing Hilton, how they were in with the screen, like, look, camera's gonna go. Here's where you start, and here's where you finish. Now do whatever the hell you go. That is so, and I'm gonna tell you, this is why I got intrigued. Other than y'all bullying me to make me watch this,
there was a full-on bully. Like
listen, I thought I was gonna lose my job. Like, oh my God, you were about to lose your job. I better go see this dang stuff.
I had to do it, didn't I? Okay, wait. I was subtle one week. Let me give y'all the backstory on this because I'm not normally a bully, but we were doing our love letter to Marvel, and we had talked about we were going to cover certain shows, and so I was like, I gave everyone the heads up. Watch these shows, and who shows up and had not watched any of the shows? Had only seen.
I am a diehard Marvel fan.
Had only seen movies, but had not watched any of the Disney Plus stuff. And I was like, it was pretending to know, like
I was.
Now listen, America. Before I want to break in here and break the fourth wall for just a second. Just lean in. These two here have known each other for like 75 years. They was friends in their last life. You know, getting old and old folks home together back in the 30s, and then they came back and they was friends again. So while they needling each other, in ways that only long-term
friends can
do. Right.
Hilton, okay, America, listen to me now. Hilton lying because he done went in on me and knew me for 5 minutes. So listen, he already making jokes about me blowing up my house. So
but this is how great this ensemble cast of ours is. We just
that's why y'all love us. That's why you keep coming back. But I'm gonna say this: that example of how the start and finish and whatever you do, get it. You know, just find a way to get to point B. That reminds me so much of why I love Deadpool, because I know Ryan Reynolds is a fool. He
In
is
real
the
life.
fool in real life. Like everything he touches is golden. He cannot go wrong because his personality and his writing and the way Deadpool is one of my favorites.
Anyone who trolls their own wife.
And I feel like they got something from that. Like y'all just go, because we know what it looks like. We know we know how it becomes beautiful and perfect. And them Deadpool, I mean, the fact that Deadpool killed the original Deadpool, like whatever he did long time, like at the end of the first Deadpool, it's just classic, creative freedom. And you cannot lose. And I love the fact that, again, the wrestler, John Cena, he got it right. But I knew I saw that glimmer in him with, if you can be on screen with Will Ferrell, who is one of the absolute greatest. I mean, hands down. Listen, it made me laugh like they were funny. So I knew
Christi, you got it. I want to go ahead and just tell you got it right on two levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Deadpool franchise was being treated by the Marvel, because it's not even technically Marvel, they're under Fox, so it's not even in the Disney Marvel universe. It was treated as much of a throwaway, standalone movie. Like, okay, if he screws it up, if it doesn't sell any tickets, we're not threatening the X-Men, even though he's kind of in the X-Men universe, and we're gonna give him Colossus
to be in the X-Men.
And so you see even him breaking that fourth wall. Part of his storyline is that the studio wouldn't even chuck out some money for a couple of X-Men to be in this movie, that kind of thing. So I think we're seeing that parallel with DC is having that same kind of fun. And for those who watch the series all the way through, you even do get the cameos at the back end, and he cusses them out for being so late, showing up at the back end of the last episode.
When he called,
kind of that same posture.
When he called Josh Brolin Thanos, and I almost, y'all, I just watched it 3 days ago. It was just on regular TV, and if I see it, I stop and I watch it. And if I can catch that moment when he says, "Hold on, Thanos," I was like, I lose it every time.
Christi, these are my Deadpool katanas. My Deadpool cosplay is sitting right over there. That's
I've seen his Deadpool cosplay.
Listen,
oh my God!
You want to talk about Deadpool cosplay? Follow my social media. You'll see some craziness here. I'm with you.
He is raunchy, he's funny, and it's perfect. And if they are taking cues for Peacemaker, that's where I kind of feel like that is what y'all keep paying attention, because somebody made the blueprint. Y'all don't have to really reinvent the wheel here. Right. But they definitely need all the cues they can get, Lord. Bless DC.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I'm glad they took the cues, but they did it their own way. It didn't feel like we're biting off of this. Yeah.
Definitely
they did it their own way. And it's really, Peacemaker's really an ensemble cast. Everyone, I'm like choking. Everyone contributes something to this piece. And but you know what? I really, going back to the whole like letting them ad lib and letting them kind of run. It's one of those things where I feel like James Gunn did right by the cast, because it's like you hire these amazing actors. You hire these people who went through probably 10, 12 auditions just to get the part. And now you let them act. Let them do what you hired them to do. Let them be funny. Let them go off the rails. Let them, like you said, here we are, point A. Now get us to point. Let's do our take that we need. But now let's do a funner one where you can just go off the rails and just get to,
it's less manufacturing. You can't always make that kind of funny. You can't orchestrate that. You could just let people just go do you now. Make it crazy.
Let the magic happen.
And don't forget, John Cena is a wrestler. And if you've ever watched professional wrestling, there's as much acting happening to some debate in the ring as there is off the ring, where they're talking, with the commentators. They're off the cuff, like, okay, I'm going to talk some shit about this guy over here, and I'm going to say something about that fan over there, and I'm going to talk about some other situation. There's no
improv. A lot of them, they got to improv.
Exactly.
And that's
they got to do a lot of physical improv. They have to do a lot of vocal improv. They got to play off of each other, even off screen. So, and he's got his own bit, everybody knows, you can't see me doing this, but he invented that, right? So the joke is like, John Cena's in this and you can actually see him, you know, and that kind of a thing is something that you really are able to play with. And if you give a guy like that some real, like, okay, look, we're gonna, you know, this is all digital, we're not burning up actual celluloid, so you know, let's do a couple of takes, let's see what happens, and if it sucks, we delete it. If it works, we'll run it, and you see those scenes in there. And they're having a ball, and we're having a ball. And, you know, I think they made the right decision not giving him a movie and giving him an opportunity to come into our homes and let us see him in our own terms and on our own leisure. And then maybe have him pop in on a couple of movies here and there. But then I'm ready for a season 2.
I am
Give
too.
me a season 2 of Peacemaker.
I am too. It's like it was like the Hawkeye and the WandaVision of it all, where I could have cared less about those characters in the movie. Like, they weren't my favorite, but you gave them a series, you let them win us over, and now we love them. Now we're begging for season 2, and that is exactly what John Cena did. And I mean, it was I couldn't believe it, but I could believe it, because I was like you said, he worked across these like amazing comedians, and you know, Will Ferrell is not going to have a scene with someone, or you know, they're not going to have a scene with someone who can't handle that kind of timing, who doesn't have that innate. And it's funny because a lot of times when you have these scenes where you're allowed to, you know, just ad lib and go, like, it is still a controlled setting, but you're just, it's like they clip your, like, they don't, like, they just let you free. They let your wings come out and let you fly, you know? And man, this show is a good example of that. No, this is the tough question. I've got a hard hitting question for the both of you.
Oh boy.
Who is your favorite character that's a part of this team? Because there are some favorites, like there are some supporting characters that really stand out.
So I'm gonna go first because Hilton, I know you'll have it.
Hilton's really thinking. He's really
Mine's gonna be really quick. Mine's gonna be really quick. So
don't you steal mine.
I'm gonna say, I know, and watch this. I don't even know I can't remember his name right now, because I told y'all I'm a baby to this. I'm newborn.
It's okay.
I'm a preemie.
Describe him. We'll tell you.
He's the guy who is the most unsuspecting. He's like oh my God, he's the big white guy. He's just, he's just nobody. He doesn't.
Diebeard.
Yeah, Diebeard. Yes. Beard. I'm gonna call him Beard Guy.
I just call him Diebeard, but he does have a character name.
I don't need, and see,
hold on, I'll tell you.
Those kinds of roles are hilarious.
Well, he's John Economos. Like, yeah, it's like
because he does like
Diebeard is better.
Steve Agee is the actor.
Steve Agee is the actor.
For some reason,
it's a John. Yeah, Economos is the character.
He's for some reason.
Nobody calls him that the whole show.
No, it's all Diebeard. But didn't you love the moment where he was like, the alien asked him, like, why does your guy do that to his beard? And he's like, he actually has this like really sentimental sentimental answer. And like John Cena felt so bad for making fun of him the whole time. And casting on him.
It's that energy that comes to, he just, again, you wouldn't naturally put him in a group like this or anywhere near. He just seems like the tax accountant, and but he's got that dry humor, and I kind of like that dry humor in the midst of, and he's the butt of the joke. Doesn't know he's the butt of the joke, but he's and then trying to explain it. He'll like analyze that. So I like people like that. And again, because I'm a fan of Danielle, she's gonna be whatever she does. I enjoy her.
She was a really good character.
And I'm just really proud of Cena and what he's doing with this situation. So that's it.
Well, your pick got the opportunity to play. He established his character, let me put it like that, because he didn't get a whole lot of screen time in both Suicide Squads. He was in that back office operation, that was kind of blowing up people's capsules in their heads and all that kind of stuff. So, so we did get a chance to meet him enough, at least to take him somewhat seriously, and then have him in this situation where nobody takes him seriously and find out, all of his insecurities. I mean, for somebody that everybody gets a chance to play off of, because he's like, it would be too simple to say he's comedy relief, because he's not. He plays more of the straight man than the comedy relief. But like, you see him also capable of generating comedy, even though it's horrible. prime example, I cackled laughing, and I really feel bad as a person for doing this, when he was waiting outside the field to go in and help in the middle of the battle. He has no fighting skills at all.
None.
And
Zero.
he's seeing everybody fighting out there, and he feels like he should do something. And he's like, I can't go out there. I'm going to get hurt. I can't go out there. And he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go. And as soon as he tries to jump over the fence, he breaks his leg. And it's like you didn't even make it 3 feet, and you done broke your leg.
His leg was like gashed out.
Like, dude, like that, just being that character, takes a lot of work to underplay someone like that enough to let other characters come into that space. So
totally,
I think that's
yet
a really
another
good choice.
another parallel. Sorry, I hate to have to do this to y'all, but another parallel to Deadpool, because the guy that I love, I can't think of his name, but he's Deadpool's best friend, who works at the bar, owns the bar or whatever. He is a fool. I mean, he is so funny in anything that he does. I love his voice, but he also plays that kind of role. But he straight up says, "Yeah, I'm not going." I told him I just told him everything I shouldn't have, and I'm just not going.
Right.
I'd really like to go with you, but I don't want
to.
I don't want.
Well, you know what though? I love the moment I love with Diebeard was when like John Cena's about to like die from that gorilla or like whatever it was that was about to kill him, and then all of a sudden he shows up out of nowhere with the chainsaw and saves the day and like chainsaws him in half.
Oh boy.
But it was the most hilarious thing because it was just one of those like funny moments where you didn't expect him to be the one that saves a day. And the cool thing about him saving the day, it like, it almost redeemed him with John Cena. Like John Cena was like, oh man, I've been mean to this guy all this time. And he just saved me. Like he's a hero too. But my favorite character, it's a toss up. My favorite character was either Vigilante or Eagle-E. Like, I couldn't get enough of either one of them.
Eagle-E.
Like Vigilante was so stupidly funny. Like the guy who plays him was so on point. Like where he's just
I call him the great value Deadpool.
Yes. He really
is. He's like that. Not quite Deadpool brand, but he's kind of
not
he
great
really
value.
is. But you know what? I like that one episode where the Danielle character, she basically tricks him into going to kill John Cena's father in prison. And then all of a sudden we get this dark, he's like dark as hell. And he is like, we're with this goofy character all of a sudden is like plotting how he's going to murder this white supremacist. And he's like, what's your favorite black person and what they've contributed to society? And they're like, what?
What?
Like he just came at him. Oh, it was the best. Like I had nonstop laughs. And obviously Eagle-E was a sweet eagle throughout the whole thing.
I didn't think I would like him. I really thought he was going to be the Jar Jar Binks of this show. I really was kind of like, they've figured out a way to do really less than explosive budget CGI. And they're going to try and do more with this eagle than they should.
One step up from the bad, like one step up. Like what was the Justice League movie where the guy had, Superman had the beard and they were trying to like cover up the mustache and it was like such bad CGI. Like it was like one step above that. But Eagle-E.
And they managed to create these sentimental moments with Eagle-E that you were like, wait a minute, I care about this eagle, even though he's not real.
Right.
And he's just an extension of Peacemaker's, idiocy. And, but it's weirdly validatating to who his character is and all. It was just kind of mixed emotions about I care about this character. Yeah, I
tricked us
wrote him off so hard I didn't care.
Yeah, they tricked us again to care about something we never thought we'd care about.
Right.
Like we never thought we'd care about Peacemaker.
Brilliant.
And all of a sudden we were like, we fell in love with everybody and Eagle-E as well.
Hilton, who are yours?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, I have to go ahead and double up with Karen in that Vigilante, I think, plays the most expositional role for the Peacemaker character. Without him to play off of, we would know Peacemaker less. And you can kind of get a sense of if this is his best friend and the kind of things that they get off on as best friends tells you more about who Peacemaker is without him. And the scene where they're blowing up appliances out in the woods, and they're talking about the things they do for fun or anything like that, you really would not get the full circle Peacemaker, because there's nobody close enough to him to kind of open up that inner door and let us in to see who he is. And the thing that I appreciate about both of these, which I know is a hard balance to make, is having characters that are both buffoonish and just unbelievably lack of self-awareness, right. Kind of, but still being the amazingly high-skilled badass killers really says a lot. So, okay, here's the moment that cements Vigilante for me.
Okay,
he needs to be in the show. So as you probably remember, there's a scene where the sniper, John Cena is playing, he's got the sniper and he can't quite wrap his head around what he's about to do, because there's a family of 3 in this house that have been taken over by these aliens. And you can see it. There's no question.
Yeah, no question. They're all aliens.
But he cannot, without having the Peacemaker symbol on the sniper rifle, he cannot muster up that whole, I will fight for freedom no matter how many men, women, and children I have to do it. Right. That disconnect, he freezes. And you see this family of 3 eating, as aliens do. And he just freezes. You're like, what are you doing, Peacemaker? And Vigilante's like, I got this. And he's just like, 1 pow, 2 thing, 3. And he takes out like the
baby
child
is gone.
First. Yeah, he takes out the 2 kids first. He takes out the mom. Just no compunction, no thought whatsoever. And
no
he's
hesitation.
Dead
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, that's like episode 2. Like, it's in there. And it's just
I didn't need all that commentary. Sir.
That lets me know.
That lets us know where she's at in the series.
This guy is supposed to be there.
Hey, Karen, you already admitted you only watched 2 episodes. I'm right behind you.
I watched the whole thing. I watched the entire series, like start to finish. Yeah, no, I'm done.
Listen, I'll tell you.
I couldn't stop watching it.
It really did a good job with him. Without him, I don't think you would have had the series that you had. And then just having the treatment of both characters, as you saw in the last episode, where they are fighting and you can see the skill, like the real skill of a killer that Peacemaker has, and everybody on that team. I mean, just being dead on with throwing knives and axes and using random stuff from this cornfield to take people's heads off. They're going against like 100 of these possessed alien creatures coming at them, butterflies, and they really do a great job with it. So without Vigilante, I don't think this would have worked. And he's just entertaining to watch because he has that range. I don't think he'll get his own series, but he's definitely not going to be. There's not going to be a sequel to this series without him, and that's the reason why.
He's a fixture.
And that's the beautiful part about it. Like everyone who needs to be, like, obviously, if you haven't watched it all, Christy, all the important people that need to go on to the season 2 will be there. But I had all these other topics for us to talk about, but Peacemaker, we couldn't stop. Like it was such a good
This
show.
is a big apple to bite into. I love it.
You've got 8 episodes. Like literally, it's like, and each one is done so well, and move if you're a pearl clutcher and you can't like get past
put your pearls up, child. Put your pearls
close
up.
your pearls, close one eye, but just watch.
This is for the adults. This is for, I want you to watch. This is something you in the middle of the night, put the kids to bed. And this is for you and your significant other to sit and watch and laugh and
grown up.
Even your insignificant other. Y'all can watch it.
Especially your insignificant other.
Right.
It's just
I love it. I'm gonna give updates.
TV.
So let's just make sure y'all chime in with me so I can give updates as I keep up and keep progressing. Because I watch a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
I can't just stop what I'm doing. My brain is already oozing out.
And I know you can't watch it like that. You got kids in the house. I got a brother who's got kids in the house.
Her kids are like 18 and up. Her kids are 18. These kids she's talking about,
I got
they're adults.
They're Christian children.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. God.
Wait a minute. And they love it. They love it. That's what I said. Some
they've already seen it. She's the only one.
That was for the mamas out there, because I know people just see comic book. I did the same thing. I was victim
but most
to that.
comic books are very dark. Most comic books actually are not for children. It's like an adult, adult reading.
But when you don't know and you see drawing and animation, I just your regular brain, whatever, you're not in that realm. I'm just saying that's where I was many moons ago when the children were much younger. And now, as they have gotten older, they have educated me on a whole lot of things. I'm telling you, Christian he already knows Peacemaker inside and out.
Yeah.
So like maybe he should come and do a segment. I don't know.
But we won't recast you with him. I
I'm
promise.
telling y'all, he's
even
still
though
mad.
You guys look just alike.
Thank you. He's still mad at me that I haven't, both of them. She's mad because I haven't watched WandaVision yet, and he's mad at me because I haven't seen The Mandalorian. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Heal your house, Christy.
Yes.
You can do this.
You are the problem.
They be trying to stay
corner.
You can bring your household together.
Listen.
Watch this shit.
Yes.
But now y'all ready to talk Handmaid's Tale, then I'm ready to go. So so don't get me. Y'all want to get on my lane, and that's what we'll be dealing with.
Well,
and
we'll have to dedicate.
Yes.
We will have to dedicate like 8 shows to the Handmaid's Tale.
I know.
Woo, Lord.
We on our way, child. We are on our way. But yes, I'm gonna keep y'all posted on my progress through that, because again, I'm ready to. I've done all the back, watching. You know how you can go and watch. Y'all got me hip to the compilations and the give you and then I started. So now I just got to catch up, because
Listen, some of these are so. Some of these are so complicated that even somebody who some people consider to be expert in any subject on comic books, I got to go back and watch the little after analysis where the people just pick apart certain scenes.
Right.
And listen, you're going to really have to do it for Multiverse of Madness. The breakdown of Multiverse of Madness, just the trailer, just that 2-minute trailer has blown my mind so much. So those tools are there for us nerds to kind of, because in my old age, I can't always see what's happening.
Yeah.
But
I was texting you guys in the movie, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was like, Doctor Strange, the whole trailer, it blew my mind."
Yes.
So if you haven't seen the Batman, if you haven't seen Peacemaker, you got to see both of these. Go see the Batman just to go see like the trailers, because like I'm going to tell you this. I have admired, like, I know Christy's a hardcore Harry Potter fan. I've really enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts. Like, I've enjoyed those movies, but I was never like the hardcore Harry Potter fan. Like, I've always been kind of a surface fan. And right. And so, but when I saw that trailer for Fantastic Beasts, the new movie that's coming out, oh my gosh, it's like, I was like,
have you seen it, Christy? It's amazing.
Well,
it's got everything.
So watch this. This is how serious I am. If there is, I saw it 2 months ago. I saw it when it first came out online, because I follow. I'm a part of all the different, Harry Potter, Hogwarts clubs, and I follow.
Serious.
I get emails, honey. I didn't put my.
You're on the email list. Oh,
yes.
For the Harry Potter, you're on email for Harry Potter.
Harry Potter email list. Oh, you. That's serious.
I get letters from the owls. They bring me letters, child.
She said the owls be coming through the window every Tuesday. Like, here's the new updates for you.
Update. This is how
you're a wizard, Christy.
You're a wizard, Christy. Wait, what's going to be so funny is when we review Fantastic Beasts, and she's going to be the expert. She's going to bully us like we bully her.
Yes, payback is.
She's going to be like, first of all, the Hufflepuff house is this, and see, everybody thought Snape was this. We're going to be like,
yeah. Oh man!
So, yes. So that's gonna be fun, though. Yes, but the previews were excellent, and I know they changed from theater to theater, but they did show that they did. And when the theater we went to, they did not show Strange, but they did show the Fantastic Beast one coming up. So
wow! Man, that Doctor Strange.
There's a lot of good movies.
Yeah, and I've seen that. Because I watched that online too. When I follow these things and they say official trailer rolling out today, I mean, I'm running over to YouTube or wherever to find.
He gets the email.
Yeah, that too.
They sent it straight to her. The studio was like, girl, check this out.
Exactly.
Y'all better get on their email list.
Yeah, we're all going to sign up for the email list. You sign up, we'll sign up. But guys, thank you so much for watching the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. We had so much fun. Oh, DC, please forgive me because I would like to work for you one day. Especially,
it's all in love. It's all in love.
Right? No, they gotta know. But anyways, we love you guys. We see you next week. Take care. Bye.